How strong is the American region heading into PMGC 2025? Let's find it out. So in this series, I'll be doing short breakdowns of the top teams from every major region participating in PMGC. I'll be briefly covering their rosters, playstyles, key strengths and weaknesses, so you can get a clear idea of how strong each region truly is going into the tournament. For this video, we are focusing on the American region. The teams representing this region are Wolves, Alpha 7, Influence Rage, 9Z Team and Loops. And in my opinion, the top contenders for this region are Wolves, Alpha 7 and Influence Rage. So let's break them down one by one. Starting off with Wolves. Their roster includes Doran as the IGL, along with Peyton, Higor, Juancho and Coops. They secured their slot for the Gauntlet after an outstanding performance in PMSL, finishing first with a massive 200 points in just 18 matches. Now this will be their first global tournament of 2025. Earlier in the spring, they narrowly missed out on the PMWC slot after finishing 4th in PMSL, which wasn't enough to qualify. But this time, they made sure not to repeat that mistake and booked their ticket to PMGC in style. Now since they haven't competed in any global event this year, their performance can only be judged through PMSL results. And honestly, they have been impressive when it comes to regionals. With Coops, one of the OG names in PUBG Mobile Esports, this team has the valuable global experience and composure needed on the big stage. Now coming to their playstyle, Wolves focus heavily on positioning over eliminations, which in my opinion is the right approach. If you secure good position, eliminations naturally follow. They are masters at holding central control inside the zone and avoid taking unnecessary risks. Their placement consistency has been unreal in PMSL, and the best part, they are still managing to put up double-digit elimination games. So overall, Wolves looks solid heading into PMGC, with the perfect balance of experience, discipline and consistency. Next up, we have Alpha 7, one of the most consistent and respected teams in the Americas region. Their current roster features Carrillo as the IGL, along with Guizao, Mafioso, Obscure and Revo. They secured their spot in the PMGC Gauntlet after an impressive second place finish in PMSL Americas. However, 2025 hasn't been the smoothest year for them. Back in spring, the lineup looked a bit different. The roster included Carrillo, Revo, Mafioso, Senup and Squash. After finishing 3rd in PMSL Spring, they qualified for PMWC as the defending champions. Fans expected them to go back-to-back, but things didn't go as planned. Alpha 7 had a surprisingly poor run, failing to even qualify for the grand finals, something that almost never happens for this team. Since 2020, Alpha 7 has been a regular face in the finals of every major international tournament, so this PMWC setback was definitely a tough blow. But now, after a 2nd place finish in PMSL Fall, they have made their comeback, qualifying for PMGC once again, and this time with a revamped and recharged lineup led by Carrillo, who will be appearing in PMGC for the 6th time. That's the level of consistency this guy has. Now talking about their game style, their macro game is one of the best in the world. Gunpower, absolutely elite. Revo and Guizao dominate close-range fights. Mafioso excels at picking up crucial mid and late game eliminations. Obscure brings sharp game sense and adaptability. And Carrillo, well, he's not just the IGL but also a beastly fragger when the team needs him. Their approach is aggressive, confident and fearless. If they get challenged, they take the fight head-on. And that mentality often leads to high elimination games and big momentum swings in their favor. So overall, Alpha 7 looks a complete package going into PMGC 2025. Experienced, confident and ready for redemption. And now finally, we have Influence Rage, one of the most experienced and consistent lineups from the Americas. Their roster features Law as the IGL, along with Diego, Federal, Lil Boy and Lorenzen. They secured their slot in the PMGC group stage after finishing 3rd in PMSL Americas. Now honestly, if there's any team I personally want to see lift the PMGC trophy this year, it's Influence Rage, just my biased opinion. That said, 2025 hasn't been their best year, but it's not been bad either. It's just that expectations from this team are always sky high. Their journey this year began with the Global Open in spring, where they ended 15th in the Grand Finals. Not an ideal start, but they bounced back strong with a 2nd place finish in PMSL Spring, followed by another 2nd place in the Hong Kong Invitationals, where they nearly took the title from Weibo if not for Osel's insane clutch. Things then dipped again during the World Cup, where they failed to qualify for the Grand Finals along with their regional rivals Alpha 7. But they recovered well with a 3rd place finish in PMSL Fall, which helped them qualify for PMGC again. So in short, their domestic performance has been solid, but their global runs this year haven't quite met the expectations. Now, talking about their game style, Influence Rage is generally a central-oriented team. but they often transition into an edge playstyle as the match progresses. This is because they prefer having space to operate, especially when taking fights, and that kind of flexibility isn't always possible when holding center. They are one of the most active teams in scouting and clearing areas, and they love engaging in third-party fights to capitalize on opportunities. The only weakness I've noticed is that sometimes they oversplit while scouting or looking for angles, which makes them slightly vulnerable to unexpected pushes. Other than that, Inference Rage still looks like a very well-rounded, confident and battle-tested team going into PMGC 2025. One that can absolutely surprise everyone if they regain their top form.